actually a continuation of Chapter 5 that we just finished. We're going to get more into exponentials and logarithms. Section 711 is titled, How Can I Solve Exponential Equations? And the subtitle is Using Logarithms to Solve Exponential Equations. So by the end of the lesson, I will be able to use a property of logarithms that will be very useful for solving problems that involve variable exponents. So for question 7.1, it says, you have learned 3 important log facts so far. Review these facts with the class and write down answers below. For part A, it says, what is a logarithm? And how can log equations be converted into another form? Okay, so log base b of x just means to determine the exponent needed to get the value of x, or you can change it to an exponential of b to the power of y equals x. Part B says, what do you know about the logarithm key on your calculator? And so most of you have realized that the plain log key on your calculator uses a base of 10. It usually just shows a blank there, but if it's blank or it doesn't, or it'll say 10, it's a log base of 10. Okay? So you have to tell the calculator to do something else. Okay? So part C says, what does the graph of y equals log of x look like? And since it's the inverse function of an exponential, it looks like an exponential function, but it's reflected across that line, the y equals x line. Okay? Just like all of our other inverses, you could graph the exponential, then graph the log, draw your line y equals x, and it would just be a reflection. Okay? Any questions on that? Okay. All right, so in the box below, we're going to write the definition of log. It's going to be y equals b to the power of x, where y is equal to log base b of x. And that's an algebraic representation. You're going to have numbers plugged in there. Okay? You guys got pretty good at that part. Okay. So, for question number 7.5 down at the bottom, it says, do you remember solving equations like 1.04 equals 2 in your homework? And your answer should be, yes, I remember that. Okay. What method did you use to solve? We used something called guess and check, and we would get closer and closer. We did that with the calculator, right? Okay, super fun, right? Typing in numbers over and over. Okay. Anybody still writing? Okay. Let me know when you're ready. You good, Rayan? I think he is. Can't tell. Yes? I'm asking. Okay. Up at the top of page 2, it says there must be an easier way, right? So what makes the equation 1.04 the x equals 2 so hard to solve? And that is because x is in the exponent. That's what makes it hard. And because the bases are not the same. Okay, so for part B, how can we use a power property with logarithms to solve the equation 1.04 to the x equals 2? So we're going to take that and we're going to rewrite it. We can say that the log of 2 with a base of 10 is equal to the log of 1.04 to the x with a base of 10. So the log of 2 is equal to that exponent of x times the log of 1.04. And we end up with part C, which says solve 1.0x equals 2. Be sure to show your work and check your answers round your to 3 numbers after the decimal. Okay? This ends up being what we're about to call the power property. Okay? So let me show you this on the calculator. So we're going to take log, where is it? There it is. Log of 2. Oh, there's a glare. Yeah. Divided by the log of 1.04. And we're going to get this decimal 17 point. And then after the decimal, they wanted us to round to, excuse me. They want us to round to 3 decimal places. So right now there's 672, but next to the 2 is a 9. What numbers make you round up? 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, right? And what numbers make you stay the same? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 0. So if it was 0 through 4, you would stay, but it's in the 5 through 9 category, so we round up, and that 2 becomes that 3. Okay? Yes?
Why do you divide the 2?
We're not dividing 2, we're dividing the log of 2.
Yeah, why do you divide
It's a property. Okay. So we're going to have you guys write down the log property, and then in your groups of 4, you're going to do question 7-7, which says solve the following equations in your team. After checking your answers with your team, round them to 3 decimal places. So let's highlight that. 3 decimal places. You only have 4 questions to do in your group of 4.